Number 8. The almost perfect tile. You've seen it. You're walking through a subway station or staring at a kitchen backsplash and everything is beautiful. A sea of perfectly aligned, uniformly grouted tiles. Your brain gets a little hit of dopamine, it's order, it's peace. And then you see it. One tile, just one, is rotated 90 degrees. Or it's a slightly different shade of off-white. Or it's chipped in the corner. Suddenly the entire wall is a monument to failure. Your peace is shattered. A quiet, simmering rage begins to build in your soul, and you have the sudden urge to take a sledgehammer to $1,000 of perfectly good ceramic. You're not just a picky perfectionist. This is your brain's pattern recognition software throwing a fit. Your brain is a prediction machine. It spends every millisecond of its existence trying to find patterns, make sense of the world, and predict what comes next. It's a survival mechanism. See a pattern of stripes in the grass? Predict it's a tiger and run? See a pattern of red berries? Predict they're the same ones you ate yesterday and enjoy. A perfectly tiled wall is a simple, beautiful pattern. A, B, A, B, A, B. Your brain loves it. It's predictable. It's safe. But that one rogue tile? It's a glitch in the matrix. It's a violation of the established rules. The brain flags it as an error. It's an unresolved problem, a question without an answer, and your brain hates unresolved problems. It dedicates a disproportionate amount of processing power to that one stupid tile, trying to figure out why it's wrong. It's like a song that builds up to a massive, satisfying crescendo and then cuts to a commercial for adult diapers. That feeling of unresolved tension is what you perceive as rage. Your brain isn't mad at the tile. It's mad that reality presented it with a puzzle it can't solve, and its only solution is to make you want to burn the whole building down. Number 7. Wet Sink Gunk. Picture this. You're washing dishes, or maybe just reaching into the sink to grab a glass. Your hand, submerged in the warm, soapy water, brushes against something. It's not a fork, it's not a plate, it's soft, squishy, unidentifiable. It clings to your skin for a split second before you recoil your arm like you've been electrocuted. A full-body shudder racks your nervous system. You feel violated. You want to scrub your hand with steel wool and bleach. What was it, a piece of soggy bread, a rogue bit of leftover spinach? It doesn't matter. It is without a doubt the most disgusting thing you have ever touched. This isn't just you being dramatic about kitchen chores. This is your ancient, finely tuned disgust response going into overdrive. The emotion of disgust is one of the most powerful survival tools we have. It's your brain's built-in hazmat team. Its entire job is to keep you from putting things in your mouth, or even touching things that could contain parasites, bacteria, and disease. And wet sink gunk is a perfect storm of disgust triggers. First, it's a violation of expectation. You expected a hard, smooth plate, and you got a soft, mushy blob. Second, it's wet and slimy. Textures our brains have learned to associate with decay and contamination. And third, it's unidentifiable. Is it food? Is it rot? Your brain doesn't know, so it defaults to the worst-case scenario. It's a tiny, plague-infested biohazard. The instant revulsion you feel is your limbic system screaming, "Poison! Contamination! Abort mission!" It's not a conscious thought. It's a deep, primal command to get this unknown, potentially lethal substance away from you immediately. So that feeling of wanting to amputate your own hand isn't an overreaction. It's your ancient lizard brain trying to save you from a plague that, in this case, just happens to be a piece of soggy cornflake. Number 6. The creepy clown. Some people love clowns. Most people, however, see a man with a painted-on smile, oversized shoes, and a rainbow wig, and feel a cold dread creep up their spine. There's nothing explicitly threatening about them. They're supposed to be fun. They're supposed to make children laugh. So why do they feel like they crawled out of a nightmare to steal your soul and sell it for balloon animals? The answer lies in a wonderful, terrifying little concept called the Uncanny Valley. The theory goes like this. We like things that look human-like, such as a cartoon character or a teddy bear. And obviously we like things that look fully human. But there's a deep, dark valley in between where something looks almost human, but not quite. And our brains absolutely freak out. A robot with a slightly too stiff walk, a CGI character with dead eyes, or a clown with a smile that never ever changes. A clown's face has all the components of a human face, eyes, a nose, a mouth, but they're all wrong. The smile is permanent, disconnected from any real emotion. The eyebrows are painted into a state of perpetual surprise. The skin is a ghastly, unnatural white. Your brain's facial recognition software, which is one of the most sophisticated pieces of equipment in the known universe, takes one look at this and short circuits. It can't categorize it. Is it a person? Is it a mask? Is it happy? Is it hiding murderous rage behind that painted grin? The ambiguity is terrifying. When your brain can't tell if something is a friend or a predator, it defaults to predator. So your irrational fear isn't about the clown himself. It's about your brain's inability to read his intentions, leaving it with only one logical conclusion. He's here to make you a permanent part of the circus. Number 5. The word moist. Go ahead, say it out loud. Moist. For a significant portion of the population, that word feels like pouring a bucket of slugs into their ear canal. People viscerally hate it. They cringe. They shudder. They beg you to use another word. Damp, dank, soggy. None of them inspire the same level of pure, unadulterated hatred as moist. But why? It's just a collection of letters. This phenomenon is called word aversion, and moist is its undisputed king. Psychologists believe it's a perfect storm of horribleness. First, there's the phonetics, the way the word sounds in your mouth. It starts with a closed, rounded M sound, moves to that long, slightly grotesque oi sound, and then finishes with a sharp, wet-sounding saint. It's an acoustically unpleasant journey. Your mouth has to do a little gymnastics routine that just doesn't feel right. But the real horror comes from the connotations. What do you associate with the word moist? For most people, it's not a delicious, moist chocolate cake. No. Our brains go straight to the dark places, damp basements, mildew, clammy handshakes, sweat, questionable bodily fluids. The word has become so strongly linked with these slightly disgusting concepts that you can't hear it without a little slideshow of grossness playing in your head. It's like the word itself is contaminated. It's a purely psychological link, built up over years of hearing it in the worst possible contexts. So when you flinch at the word moist, you're not just reacting to a sound. You're reacting to every clammy, mildewy, vaguely unsettling image your brain has ever filed away under that label. Number 4. Cursed hole patterns. If I show you a picture of a honeycomb, you probably think of bees and honey. But if I show you a lotus seed pod, with its cluster of dark, deep holes, you might feel an overwhelming sense of revulsion. Your skin might crawl. You might feel itchy, anxious, or even nauseous. This is trypophobia, an irrational fear or disgust of irregular patterns or clusters of small holes or bumps. And while it's not an officially recognized phobia, it is intensely real for thousands of people. The leading theory here is, once again, all about your ancient caveman brain trying to keep you from dying a horrible death. Throughout evolutionary history, things with patterns of holes or bumps were often bad news. Think about it. The skin of a venomous snake, a wasp's nest teeming with angry stingers, skin lesions from diseases like smallpox or measles, or a piece of rotting meat infested with maggots. All of these things feature clustered, irregular patterns. Your brain, in its infinite and paranoid wisdom, developed a shortcut. Instead of carefully analyzing whether that cluster of holes is a delicious passion fruit or a festering wound, it just triggers a blanket nope response. It's a subconscious, automatic reaction. The visual cortex sees the pattern, and before your conscious mind even has time to process what it is, your amygdala, the brain's fear center, is already hitting the big red panic button. It's a classic case of your brain being overly cautious. It would rather you feel disgusted by a harmless plant than be cool with a nest of botflies. It's not logical, it's primal. Your brain isn't afraid of the holes. It's afraid of what holes like that used to represent: poison, disease, and death. Number 3, the pen-clicking demon. You're in a library. It's silent. You're in the zone, finally concentrating on that incredibly boring textbook. And then it starts, from across the room. Click, 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 click. A rhythmic metallic sound that drills its way directly into your consciousness. With every click, your focus shatters a little more. Your jaw tightens. Your heart rate increases. You are no longer thinking about 18th century economics. You are fantasizing about snapping that pen in half and throwing it into a volcano. This isn't just a simple annoyance, it's a failure of a crucial brain function called sensory gating. Your brain is constantly bombarded with sensory information: the hum of the lights, the feeling of your clothes, the faint smell of old paper. To prevent you from going insane, it has a filter, a bouncer at the door of your consciousness that decides what gets in and what gets ignored. The steady hum of an air conditioner? Your brain learns to ignore it within seconds. It's predictable. It's irrelevant. But a pen click is the world's most perfect attention-seeking missile. It's sharp, it's sudden, and it's intermittent. It's not consistent enough for your brain to tune it out as white noise, but it's repetitive enough to be a constant interruption. Every single click is a new, distinct event that slips past your brain's bouncer. Your brain is forced to process it, ask, is this a threat? Is this important? And then conclude, no, it's just Gary from accounting being annoying. And then, 2 seconds later, it has to do it all over again. The rage you feel isn't just from the sound, it's from the exhaustion of your brain being constantly pulled away from its task to deal with a meaningless interruption. Your brain is furious that it keeps getting tricked into thinking the sound is important, like a dog that keeps falling for a fake ball throw. Number 2, touching velvet backwards. Running your hand over velvet in the right direction is one of life's simple, luxurious pleasures. It's smooth, soft, and satisfying. But then you go against the grain. Suddenly that same material becomes a tactile nightmare. It's grating, it's resistant, it feels wrong. A shudder might run down your spine. For some people, this feeling is 10 times worse, extending to other fabrics like microfiber, corduroy, or even cotton balls. They can't stand the touch, the sound, or even the thought of it. This is a form of tactile defensiveness or sensory hypersensitivity. Your skin is not just a bag that holds your organs in. It's a massive sensory organ, covered in millions of nerve endings that are constantly sending information to your brain about pressure, temperature, and texture. For most people, this system is well calibrated, but for some, that calibration is off. When you touch something like velvet against the grain, the fibers create a high-frequency stuttering vibration against your skin. For a hypersensitive brain, this flood of chaotic sensory data is interpreted as an alarm signal. It's not just unpleasant, it's overwhelming. It's like listening to music on a perfectly good stereo, and then someone cranks the treble all the way up until it's a piercing screech. That's what's happening on your skin. The input is too much, too sharp, too grating for your brain to process comfortably. So, when you recoil from that couch cushion, you're not being dramatic. Your nervous system is just treating a piece of fabric like it's a tiny, fuzzy declaration of war. Number 1. The chewing sound monster. Of all the irrational hatreds in the world, this one might be the most potent. Someone opens a bag of chips. You hear that first deafening crunch. Then the wet smacking sound as they masticate with their mouth slightly ajar. For you, this isn't just an annoying sound, it's a declaration of war. A wave of pure, unadulterated rage washes over you. You feel a primal urge to either flee the room or commit an act of violence with a spork. Welcome to the world of misophonia, which literally translates to hatred of sound. But it's not a hatred of all sounds. It's a severe, emotional, and physiological reaction to very specific, common trigger sounds, usually those made by other people, like chewing, breathing, sniffing, or typing. This isn't you being overly sensitive. It's a genuine neurological disorder. Brain scans of people with misophonia show that when they hear a trigger sound, their anterior insular cortex, a part of the brain that processes emotions and connects sensory information, goes into hyperdrive. Basically, their brain misinterprets the sound of someone chewing as a direct, personal, and malicious attack. This triggers a full-blown involuntary fight-or-flight response. Your heart rate skyrockets, your muscles tense up, and your body is flooded with adrenaline. You are, in that moment, experiencing the same physiological reaction you would if you came face-to-face with a bear. Your conscious brain knows it's just your Uncle Barry enjoying some potato salad, but the emotional, reactive part of your brain is convinced you're in mortal danger. That intense, seemingly disproportionate anger is your body's defense mechanism, screaming at you to eliminate the perceived threat. So no, you don't just hate the sound of chewing. Your brain is convinced the sound of chewing is trying to kill you. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.